In October 2016, Billboard named Madonna its Woman of the Year. Her blunt and brutally honest speech about ageism and sexism at the ceremony received widespread coverage in the media. The next month, Madonna, who actively supported Hillary Clinton during the 2016 U.S. presidential election, performed an impromptu acoustic concert at Washington Square Park in support of Clinton's campaign. Upset that Donald Trump won the election, Madonna spoke out against him at the Women's March on Washington, a day after his inauguration. She sparked controversy when she said that she thought a lot about blowing up the White House. The following day, Madonna asserted she was not a violent person and that her words had been taken wildly out of context. In February 2017, Madonna adopted 4-year-old twin sisters from Malawi named Esther and Stella, and she moved to live in Lisbon, Portugal, in mid-2017 with her adoptive children. In July, she opened the Mercy James Institute for Pediatric Surgery and Intensive Care in Malawi, a children's hospital built by her Raising Malawi charity. The live album chronicling the Rebel Heart Tour was released in September 2017 and won Best Music Video for Western Artists at the 32nd Japan Gold Disc Award. That month, Madonna launched mDNA Skin in select stores in the United States. A few months earlier, the auction house Gotta Have Rock and Roll had put up Madonna's personal items like love letters from Tupac Shakur, cassettes, underwear, and a hairbrush for sale. Darlene Lutz, an art dealer who had initiated the auction, was sued by Madonna's representatives to stop the proceedings. Madonna clarified that her celebrity status does not obviate my right to maintain my privacy, including with regard to highly personal items. Madonna lost the case, and the presiding judge ruled in favor of Lutz, who was able to prove that in 2004 Madonna made a legal agreement with her for selling the items. While living in Lisbon, Madonna met Dino de Santiago, who introduced her to many local musicians playing fado, morna, and samba music. They regularly invited her to their living room sessions. Thus, she was inspired to make her 14th studio album, Madame X. Madonna produced the album with several musicians, primarily her longtime collaborator Merways and Mike Dean. The album was critically well received, with NME deeming it bold, bizarre, self-referential, and unlike anything Madonna has ever done before. Released in June 2019, Madame X debuted atop the Billboard 200, becoming her 9th #1 album there. All 4 of its singles Medellin Crave. I Rise and I Don't Search I Find topped the Billboard Dance Club Songs chart, extending her record for most #1 entries on the chart. The previous month, Madonna appeared as the interval act at the Eurovision Song Contest 2019 and performed Like a Prayer, and then Future with rapper Quavo. Her Madame X tour, an all-theater tour in select cities across North America and Europe, began on September 17, 2019. In addition to much smaller venues compared to her previous tours, she implemented a no-phone policy in order to maximize the intimacy of the concert. According to Polestar, the tour earned $51.4 million in ticket sales. That December, Madonna started dating Malik Williams, a dancer who began accompanying her on the Rebel Heart Tour in 2015. However, the Madame X tour faced several cancellations due to her recurring knee injury and eventually ended abruptly on March 8, 2020, 3 days before its planned final date, after the French government banned gatherings of more than 1,000 people due to COVID-19 pandemic. She later revealed she had tested positive for coronavirus antibodies. In April 2020, Madonna announced her financial support for the COVID-19 Therapeutics Accelerator led by the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation, Wellcome Trust, and MasterCard, and donated an additional $1 million to the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation to help fund research creating a new vaccine. Madonna and Missy Elliott provided guest vocals on Dua Lipa's single Levitating. From Lipa's 2020 remix album Club Future Nostalgia. 330, she also started work on a film biopic about her life, which she intended to direct. Erin Cressida Wilson and Diablo Cody worked on the script at various points, and Julia Garner was cast as Madonna before the project was postponed. Madonna released Madame X, a documentary film chronicling the tour of the same name, on Paramount in October 2021. On her 63rd birthday, she officially announced her return to Warner in a global partnership which grants the label her entire recorded music catalog, including the last 3 albums released under Interscope. Under the contract, Madonna launched a series of catalog reissues beginning in 2022 to commemorate the 40th anniversary of her recording career. A remix album titled Finally Enough Love 50 Number Ones was released on August 19th, with a 16-track abridged edition being available for streaming since June 24th. Consisting of her 50 number one songs on Billboard's Dance Club Songs chart, the remix album highlighted how meaningful dance music has always been to Madonna's career and became her 23rd top 10 album on the Billboard 200. In September 2022, Madonna released Hung Up on Tokischa, a remix of Hung Up featuring rapper Tokischa. The song utilizes Dembo. On December 29, 2022, Madonna released the demo version of Back That Up to the Beat to all digital outlets. The song was recorded in 2015 sessions, with an alternative version being released on the Deluxe 2 CD version of her 2019 Madame X album. In January 2023, Madonna announced the Celebration Tour, her first greatest hits concert tour, which was set to run from July 2023 to January 2024. The following March, it was announced that she would collaborate on 3 songs of the Christine and the Queen's album Paranoia, Angels, True Love. On June 2, 2023, Madonna collaborated with The Weeknd and Playboi Carti on the single Popular, which was taken from the soundtrack to the drama series The Idol. On September 12, 2023, the commercial Madonna made in collaboration with Pepsi in 1989 aired during the commercial break of the 2023 MTV Video Music Awards. The commercial had been banned due to Madonna's music video for Like a Prayer, showing her kissing a black saint and burning crosses. In a statement, Madonna said, "34 years ago, I made a commercial with Pepsi to celebrate the release of my song. The commercial was immediately canceled when I refused to change any scenes in the video where I was kissing a black saint or burning crosses. So began my illustrious career as an artist refusing to compromise my artistic integrity. Artists are here to disturb the peace." The Celebration Tour began on October 14, 2023, at the O2 Arena in London. It was greeted with critical acclaim. The tour ended with a free concert at Copacabana in Rio de Janeiro. The concert was attended by 1.6 million people, which makes it the biggest standalone concert of all time. The tour grossed $225.4 million from 80 shows, making Madonna the first female artist to gross over $100 million in 6 different tours. After the end of the tour, Madonna reportedly restarted work on her biographical film. The project, with Julia Garner still on the lead, is now called Who's That Girl? In 2023, Madonna's older brother Anthony died at 66. Her younger brother Christopher also died the following year on October 4, 2024, in Petoskey, Michigan at age 63 from pancreatic cancer, according to a statement from his family. He died just 2 weeks after the death of their stepmother Joan. On October 6, Madonna dedicated a lengthy Instagram post to him saying, "I admired him. We found our way back to each other. I did my best to keep him alive as long as possible. He was in so much pain towards the end. There will never be anyone like him." Madonna has called Nancy Sinatra one of her idols. She said Sinatra's "These Boots Are Made for Walkin'" made a major impression on her. As a young woman, she attempted to broaden her taste in literature, art, and music, and during this time became interested in classical music. She noted that her favorite style was Baroque and loved Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and Frédéric Chopin because she liked their feminine quality. Madonna's major influences include Debbie Harry, Chrissy Hundy, Patti Smith, Karen Carpenter, The Supremes, Joni Mitchell, Aretha Franklin, and Led Zeppelin, as well as dancers Martha Graham and Rudolf Nureyev. She also grew up listening to David Bowie, whose show was the first rock concert she ever attended. Another inspiration is American writer James Baldwin, whose quote, "Artists are here to disturb the peace," is frequently used by Madonna. During her childhood, Madonna was inspired by actors, later saying, "I loved Carole Lombard and Judy Holliday and Marilyn Monroe. They were all incredibly funny, and they were silly and sweet, and they were girls, and they were girls, and they were feminine and sexy. I just saw myself in them. My funniness and my need to boss people around and at the same time be taken care of. My girlishness. My knowingness and my innocence. Both." Her Material Girl music video recreated Monroe's look in the song Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend from the film Gentlemen Prefer Blondes 1953. She studied the screwball comedies of the 1930s, particularly those of Lombard, in preparation for the film Who's That Girl? The video for Express Yourself 1989 was inspired by Fritz Lang's silent film Metropolis 1927. The video for Vogue recreated the style of Hollywood glamour photographs, in particular those by Horst P. Horst, and imitated the poses of Marlene Dietrich, Carole Lombard, and Rita Hayworth, while the lyrics referred to many of the stars who had inspired her, including Bette Davis, described by Madonna as an idol. Influences also came to her from the art world, such as through the works of Mexican artist Frida Kahlo. The music video of the song Bedtime Story featured images inspired by the paintings of Kahlo and Remedios Varo. Madonna is also a collector of Tamara de Lempicka's Art Deco paintings and has included them in her music videos and tours. Her video for Hollywood 2003 was an homage to the work of photographer Guy Borden's son, subsequently filed a lawsuit for unauthorized use of his father's work. Pop artist Andy Warhol's use of sadomasochistic imagery in his underground films were reflected in the music videos for Erotica and Deeper and Deeper. Madonna's Catholic background has been reflected throughout her career, from her fashion use of rosary to her musical outputs, including on Like a Prayer 1989. Her album MDNA 2012 has also drawn many influences from her Catholic upbringing, and since 2011 she has been attending meetings and services at an Opus Dei Center, a Catholic institution that encourages spirituality through everyday life. In a 2016 interview, she commented, "I always feel some kind of inexplicable connection with Catholicism. It kind of shows up in all of my work, as you may have noticed." Her study of the Kabbalah was also observed in Madonna's music, especially albums like Ray of Light and Music. Speaking of religion in a 2019 interview with Harry Smith of Today, Madonna stated, "The God that I believe in created the world. He isn't a God to fear. It's a God to give thanks to." In an appearance on Andrew Denton's interview, she added, "The idea that in any church you go, you see a man on a cross, and everyone genuflects and prays to him in a way it's paganism, idolatry, because people are worshiping a thing." Madonna's music has been the subject of much analysis and scrutiny. Robert M. Grant, author of Contemporary Strategy Analysis 2005, commented that Madonna's musical career has been a continuous experimentation with new musical ideas and new images and a constant quest for new heights of fame and acclaim. Thomas Harrison in the book Pop Goes the Decade the 80s deemed Madonna an artist who pushed the boundaries of what a female singer could do, both visually and lyrically. Professor Santiago Faz Hernandez asserted, while not gifted with an especially powerful or wide-ranging voice, Madonna has worked to expand her artistic palette to encompass diverse musical, textual, and visual styles and various vocal guises, all with the intention of presenting herself as a mature musician. Madonna has remained in charge in every aspect of her career, including as a writer and producer in most of her own music. Her desire for control had already been seen during the making of her debut album, where she fought Reggie Lucas over his production output. However, it was not until her third album that Warner allowed Madonna to produce her own album. Stan Hawkins, author of Settling the Pop Score, explained, "It is as musician and producer that Madonna is one of the few female artists to have broken into the male domain of the recording studio. Undoubtedly, Madonna is fully aware that women have been excluded from the musical workplace on most levels, and has set out to change this." Producer Stuart Price stated, "You don't produce Madonna, you collaborate with her. She has her vision and knows how to get it. Despite being labeled a control freak." Madonna has said that she valued input from her collaborators. She further explained, "I like to have control over most of the things in my career, but I'm not a tyrant. I don't have to have it on my album that it's written, arranged, produced, directed, and stars Madonna. To me, to have total control means you can lose objectivity. What I like is to be surrounded by really talented, intelligent people that you can trust, and ask them for their advice and get their input." Madonna's early songwriting skill was developed during her time with The Breakfast Club in 1979. She subsequently became the sole writer of 5 songs on her debut album, including Lucky Star, which she composed on synthesizer. As a songwriter, Madonna has registered more than 300 tracks to American Society of Composers, Authors and Publishers (ASCAP), including 18 songs written entirely by herself. Rolling Stone has named her an exemplary songwriter with a gift for hooks and indelible lyrics. Despite having worked with producers across many genres, the magazine noted that Madonna's compositions have been consistently stamped with her own sensibility and inflected with autobiographical detail. Patrick Leonard, who co-wrote many of her hit songs, called Madonna a Helluva songwriter, explaining her sensibility about melodic line from the beginning of the verse to the end of the verse, and how the verse and the chorus influence each other is very deep. Many times she's singing notes that no one would have thought of, but her Barry Walters from Spin credited her songwriting as the reason of her musical consistency. Madonna has been nominated for being inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame 3 times. In 2015, Rolling Stone ranked Madonna at number 56 on the 100 Greatest Songwriters of All Time list. Madonna's discography is generally categorized as pop, electronica, and dance. Nevertheless, Madonna's first foray into the music industry was dabbling in rock music with Breakfast Club and Emmy. As the frontwoman of Emmy, Madonna recorded about 12 to 14 songs that resemble the punk rock of that period. Madonna soon abandoned playing rock songs by the time she signed to Gotham Records, which eventually dropped her since they were unhappy with her new funk direction. According to Erlewine, Madonna began her career as a disco diva in an era that did not have any such divas to speak of. In the beginning of the 1980s, disco was an anathema to the mainstream pop, and Madonna had a huge role in popularizing dance music as mainstream music. Ari Kaplan in the book American Pop Hitmakers, Superstars, and Dance Revolutionaries referred to Madonna as a pioneer of dance pop. According to Fuse Hernandez, Madonna's frequent use of dance idioms and subsequent association with gay or sexually liberated audiences is seen as somehow inferior to real rock and roll. But Madonna's music refuses to be defined by narrow boundaries of gender, sexuality, or anything else. The cold and emotional ballad Live to Tell, as well as its parent album True Blue 1986, is noted as Madonna's first musical reinvention. Pop Matters writer Peter Piakowski described it as a very deliberate effort to present Madonna as a mature and serious artist. She continued producing ballads in between her upbeat material, although albums such as Madonna 1983 and Confessions on a Dance Floor 2005 consist of entirely dance tracks. With Ray of Light 1998, critics acknowledged Madonna for bringing electronica from its underground status into massive popularity in mainstream music scene. Her other sonically drastic ventures include the 1930s big band jazz on I'm Breathless 1990, Lush R&B on Bedtime Stories 1994, operatic show tunes on Evita 1996, guitar-driven folk music on American Life 2003, as well as multilingual world music on Madame X 2019. Possessing a mezzo-soprano vocal range, Madonna has always been self-conscious about her voice. Mark Bigot, author of Madonna Blonde Ambition, called her the perfect vocalist for lighter-than-air songs, despite not being a heavyweight talent. According to Tony Sclafani from MSNBC, Madonna's vocals are the key to her rock roots. Pop vocalists usually sing songs straight, but Madonna employs subtext, irony, aggression, and all sorts of vocal idiosyncrasies in the ways John Lennon and Bob Dylan did. Madonna used a bright, girlish vocal timbre in her early albums, which became passe in her later works. The change was deliberate since she was constantly reminded of how the critics had once labeled her as Minnie Mouse on helium. During the filming of Evita 1996, Madonna had to take vocal lessons, which increased her range further. Of this experience she commented, "I studied with a vocal coach for Evita and I realized there was a whole piece of my voice I wasn't using. Before, I just believed I had a really limited range and was going to make the most of it." Besides singing, Madonna has the ability to play several musical instruments. Piano was the first instrument taught to her as a child. In the late 1970s, she learned to play drum and guitar from her then-boyfriend Dan Gilroy, before joining the Breakfast Club lineup as the drummer. She later played guitar with the band Emmy as well as on her own demo recordings. After her career breakthrough, Madonna was absent performing with guitar for years, but she is credited for playing cowbell on Madonna 1983 and synthesizer on Like a Prayer 1989. In 1999, Madonna had studied for 3 months to play the violin for the role as a violin teacher in the film Music of the Heart, but she eventually left the project before filming began. Madonna decided to perform with guitar again during the promotion of Music 2000 and recruited guitarist Monte Pittman to help improve her skill. Since then, Madonna has played guitar on every tour, as well as her studio albums. She received a nomination for Les Paul Horizon Award at the 2002 Orville H. Gibson Guitar Awards. In the Madonna Companion, biographers Alan Metz and Carol Benson noted that Madonna had used MTV and music videos to establish her popularity and enhance her recorded work more than any other recent pop artist. 438, according to them. Many of her songs have the imagery of the music video in strong context, while referring to the music. Cultural critic Mark C. Taylor in his book Knots 1993 felt that the postmodern art form par excellence is the video, and the reigning queen of video is Madonna. He further asserted that the most remarkable creation of MTV is Madonna. The responses to Madonna's excessively provocative videos have been predictably contradictory. The media and public reaction towards her most discussed songs, such as Papa Don't Preach, Like a Prayer, or Justify My Love, had to do with the music videos created to promote the songs and their impact, rather than the songs themselves. Morton felt that artistically, Madonna's songwriting is often overshadowed by her striking pop videos. In 2003, MTV named her the greatest music video star ever and said that Madonna's innovation, creativity, and contribution to the music video art form is what won her the award in 2020. Billboard ranked her atop the 100 greatest music video artists of all time. Madonna's initial music videos reflected her American and Hispanic mixed street style, combined with a flamboyant glamour. She was able to transmit her avant-garde downtown Manhattan fashion sense to the American audience. The imagery and incorporation of Hispanic culture and Catholic symbolism continued with the music videos from the True Blue era. Author Douglas Kellner noted, "Such multiculturalism and her culturally transgressive moves turned out to be highly successful moves that endeared her to large and varied youth audiences. Madonna's Spanish look in the videos became the fashion trend of that time, in the form of boleros and layered skirts, accessorizing with rosary beads and a crucifix, as in the video of La Isla Bonita." Academics noted that with her videos, Madonna was subtly reversing the usual role of male as the dominant sex. This symbolism and imagery was probably the most prevalent in the music video for Like a Prayer. The video included scenes of an African-American church choir, Madonna being attracted to a black saint statue, and singing in front of burning crosses. Madonna's acting performances in films have frequently received poor reviews from film critics. Stephanie Zacharek stated in Time that Madonna seems wooden and unnatural as an actress, and it's tough to watch because she's clearly trying her damnedest. According to biographer Andrew Morton, Madonna puts a brave face on the criticism, but privately she is deeply hurt. After the critically panned box office bomb swept away 2002, Madonna vowed never to act again in a film. While reviewing her career retrospective titled Body of Work 2016 at New York's Metrograph Hall, The Guardian's Nigel M. Smith wrote that Madonna's film career suffered mostly due to lack of proper material supplied to her, and she otherwise could steal a scene for all the right reasons. Madonna has built a legacy that transcends music and has been studied by sociologists, historians, and other scholars, contributing to the rise of Madonna studies, a subfield of American cultural studies. According to Rodrigo Frezin, saying that Madonna is just a pop star is as inappropriate as saying that Coca-Cola is just a soda. Madonna is one of the classic symbols of Made in USA. Rolling Stone Spain wrote, "She became the first master of viral pop in history, but years before the internet was massively used." Madonna was everywhere in the almighty music television channels, radio formulas, magazine covers, and even in bookstores. A pop dialectic never seen since the Beatles' reign, which allowed her to keep on the edge of trend and commerciality. William Langley from the Daily Telegraph felt that Madonna has changed the world's social history, has done more things as more different people than anyone else is ever likely to. Professor Diane Pecknold noted that nearly any poll of the biggest, greatest, or best in popular culture includes Madonna's name. In 2012, VH1 ranked Madonna as the greatest woman in music. Spin writer Bianca Gracie stated that the queen of pop isn't enough to describe Madonna. She is pop. She formulated the blueprint of what a pop star should be. According to Sclafani, it's worth noting that before Madonna, most music mega stars were guy rockers. After her, almost all would be female singers. When the Beatles hit America, they changed the paradigm of performer from solo act to band. Madonna changed it back with an emphasis on the female. Howard Kramer, curatorial director of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, asserted that Madonna and the career she carved out for herself made possible virtually every other female pop singer to follow. She certainly raised the standards of all of them. She redefined what the parameters were for female performers. Andy Bennett and Steve Waxman, authors of the Sage Handbook of Popular Music 2014, noted that almost all female pop stars of recent years, Britney Spears, Beyoncé, Rihanna, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and others, acknowledged the important influence of Madonna on their own careers. Madonna has also influenced male artists, inspiring rock frontman Liam Gallagher of Oasis and Chester Bennington of Linkin Park to become musicians.